I'm very pleased to welcome Doron Clark, who represents parts of Minneapolis. Thank you so much for joining us. It is so difficult to hear the testimony from the parents of those children. Can you first just tell us how you've experienced this community in mourning today?
Everyone and everywhere are just expressing so much sadness, so much grief. Last night, I gathered in a field with 4,000 people. We sang, we wept, we gathered together, and hearing stories like that of Fletcher's dad reminds us why we have to do something about this.
What will the state do to protect Minnesota's children going forward?
We clearly have to do more. Times for thoughts and prayers are over. The kids were praying yesterday when this happened, and it's our job to move forward. We've done good things in the Minnesota Senate and Minnesota House to really make it more difficult for folks who shouldn't get guns, but there's a lot more we have to do. First of all, I think we have to ban assault weapons. Assault-style weapons need to be banned. We need to ban high-capacity magazines, and we got to make ammunition a bit more expensive. It needs to be harder to really do the things that coward did yesterday.
Now, that really echoes what the mayor has been calling for on gun control. Do you think among state lawmakers there is agreement with what you're calling for here?
I think there's agreement amongst the Democrats, and I think I need my Republican partners to get on board. Everybody wants this. But when it comes time to vote, it seems to be only Democrats supporting this. So we've got work to do, and I need my partners on the other side of the aisle to say, yes, I'll join you in this, and we can slow down the rate of these terrible events.
Now, this has been an issue that Democrats across the country have faced. What is your plan to try to bring your Republican colleagues on side on this regard? What arguments do you think would be most successful?
I think they need to listen to Fletcher's dad and be able to say, well, here's why we think that having guns is more important than having Fletcher around, because that is the simple choice of, well, do we want to have more dead 8 and 10-year-olds, or do we want to have more weapons of mass destruction like, well, hit Annunciation Church yesterday? So I think it's telling the stories. It's also mom standing up, dad standing up, brothers and sisters reminding folks that we want everybody home at night. So it's in all parts of Minnesota that we need to tell this story and remind people that school needs to be safe, that shopping malls need to be safe, that movie theaters need to be safe, that you should be able to go home at night safe and alive.
And what about mental health services? We've heard the attacker was obsessed with the idea of killing children, as clearly not a person who is well.
Absolutely. We obviously need more mental health services, and I would support more funding and more supports for that. We hear this time and time again, oh, it's a mental health thing. Well, let's fund it. Let's make sure we're actually addressing it and taking care of folks so they don't do this, that the obsession doesn't go to action, that it gets the treatment that is needed. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's mental health or an intentional act. It's having this weapon of mass destruction that allows the killing in a number of shots to be so rapidly accelerating. 116 shots he shot in barely minutes. We need to slow down the rate that bullets can fly out of guns, because it's just happening way too often.
Senator Doron Clark, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today on BBC News.